This picture from Janice over at Richland Chambers Reservoir pretty well shows what the morning hours looked like and pretty much all day. We just kind of had a cloudy, dreary start to the day, and I love how I put in the morning forecast, it was dreary but dry. Not sure how that made sense to me. I think I was trying to say that maybe mostly dry would have made sense because all the rain, the heavy rain at that, will start later today. In fact, if we look at radar, you can see the beginnings of this from south of Comanche over towards Hamilton. Pretty heavy thunderstorm already near Strawn there. Of course, this is going to be the first round, and it's a little earlier, I think, than I expected, but this is going to be the first round of storms that we'll see, and we will continue to watch this. Of course, there is that risk of severe weather, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. But I do want to show you, wow, that just cut quickly. I want to, usually I have these animated, give you a little bit of nuance to your graphics there. 68, 69 degrees today, still above that normal of 60 degrees. And yes, that's on the uptick. And as we get into the lows, we're still, that should be 54 there. Not quite that warm overnight in Corsicana, but still fairly warm compared to that norm of 37 degrees. So yes, we do still have this system right around the Four Corners now. That will continue to move on eastward through the day. And yeah, you can see the beginnings of this rain. And I mean, the whole system is still out there a ways, but we'll continue to watch this move eastward. And we won't be on the back side of it with the cool air until Sunday. So even though the storms are coming in tonight, we'll still have south winds and a little more warmth tomorrow. Then Sunday, we start feeling the change on the back side of that. I do want to show you the severe weather risk, and as far as I know, this hasn't changed. Now, the Storm Prediction Center has this weird habit of updating this right after I do these videos, so we'll see if that changes. But for now, there is a slight risk, really on the kind of the eastern fringe of our area here. Obviously not touching the four counties, but we have viewers in the periphery there. So from Granbury to Glen Rose to Meridian on west, you see that there is, of course, that slight risk of severe weather. And then a marginal risk for the rest of our area. This has been pushed ever so slightly eastward, not much. And I'm not really expecting a lot of difference there. I mean, I'm still looking at this pretty much being mostly a low wind and hail threat at this point. There is a low tornado risk, but it is low. Pretty isolated. I think if we see one tornado warning tonight, I think that will probably be even, a low chance at that. But it's possible that it could happen out there. I think the higher tornado risk is probably a little bit further to the southwest. So let's time this out. Right now, as I'm filming, it's 12:30. Obviously, 2 o'clock, we'll see more of this. And that'll be a little bit further east, but to our west will be where most of this is focused at that point. By the time we get to 5 o'clock, much more widespread across our area here. Now, as we get to 8 o'clock, this might be exaggerating this a little bit. Don't get too carried away with all the red. There could be some heavier rain, but I think the heavier thunderstorms will be to our west at this point by 8 o'clock. And by 11, I think the first round is moving out. Again, I think this might be exaggerating this just ever so slightly. And then I think the heavier activity is going to be, notice down towards Fredericksburg, it has a pretty heavy thunderstorm there. Again, this is a model, of course. It's not saying that it's going to be exactly there, but that does give us kind of an indication of maybe where the stronger storms will be. And then this is moving through around 1, 2, 3 a.m. So the timing has stayed pretty consistent with this model throughout the day here. This is an earlier run that goes a little bit farther out, but the more recent runs have been pretty consistent with this too. By 5 a.m., this is actually a change from yesterday. By 5 a.m., most of this is moving out of our area. It's pushed to the east and could be some lingering rain here, but it looks like by the time we get to sunrise, hey, we should be done with all of this. So, hey, not too bad a setup. So let's just go ahead and get to the 7-day forecast here. Obviously, we're getting into that later part of the day when we see those showers developing. We'll see those increase as we get into tonight. Overnight, I have 80%. We can pretty much bump that to 100% at this point. All of us should get at least something. And then tomorrow morning, we should see some of that. Now, again, it looks like by sunrise, all of this should be moved out, but sometimes that moisture likes to hang around. So we'll continue to watch that. Today, 68, tomorrow, still pretty warm. Again, it's going to take a little while for us to get on the backside of the system, but Sunday, yes, we switch those winds to the north. It'll be a little bit cooler. We could see a light shower or two Sunday evening. If we see nothing, don't be surprised, but could be 1 or 2. And then, we get cooler, and then we start getting warmer again. Let me get on the other side here. Monday and Tuesday, we're in the low 60s, but we're on our way up again. 65, 68, getting into the middle part and latter part of next week. So we cool off, but we don't stay there. So right now, no winter weather in the forecast, and I'll keep watching the models and those kind of things, but for now, nothing I can really talk about. So right now the focus, of course, is the storms tonight. So stay tuned for updates and, of course, live coverage if necessary of the storms later today, tonight, and overnight into early tomorrow morning.